Good evening and welcome to Travel Talk with Lorie. My name is Lorie Cruickshank and I am with Coffee Mug Travel Dream Vacations, your local Dream Vacations franchise here in Rocky Mount. And tonight we have special guest Beth Boykin from Framers Alley in Elm City.
Nice to be here, Lorie.
Thank you, ma'am. And tell us about your experience being a travel agent with BB&T.
Oh, well, that was the best years of my life, Lorie. 17 years I was with BB&T Travel in Wilson. And at one time we had 3 offices, and I was in the Wilson office and worked with ladies that I just thoroughly enjoyed. We did corporate travel, and as I mentioned to you earlier, we did corporate travel along with commercial travel, vacation travel, and it was a great experience. And found out there is a lot to learn in travel. And 17 years ago, or 17 years I was there, things have changed a whole lot.
Oh, yes,
So,
and they tend to change almost daily now in today's world.
They do.
So why do you think people need to really think about using a travel agent in today's world with the internet, and there's so much they can do on their own?
Well, a lot of that internet stuff is just enough to get you in trouble. Even back in the day, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, travel agents were necessary because people didn't have the internet. It was just a necessary way to make bookings. You didn't want to make long distance phone calls. You didn't want to stay on the phone all day long putting things together. And now I think it is even more important. There's restrictions, there's regulations, there's things that you need to know about. You need to know about how long you need to book in advance. You need to know about your immunizations. You need to know about visas and passports and documents to take on travel. There's a lot to know.
And I think even something as simple as when you fly into an airport, how are you going to get from that airport to an all-inclusive in Cancun?
That is
How does that
correct.
work? Or if you're flying to catch a cruise ship, if you fly into Orlando, how are you getting from Orlando International Airport to Port Canaveral where you're sailing out of?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things that people don't tend to think about.
Right, exactly.
that we do a lot of training and know and have the experience to deal with.
That is true. That is true, and that was the case back then as well. I think I just mentioned to you, my son booked what he considered an all-inclusive vacation a couple of years ago, and it turned out to be a real scare. It was to Costa Rica.
And that shows you've got to really know where you're booking. 'Cause
Exactly.
sometimes it looks great, but maybe when you get there, it's not
When you
quite.
get there, you may not have the amenities that you think
You're going to have. It may not be the experience.
Exactly.
Yes. So, well, tonight we are going to discuss Amtrak vacations.
Great.
And lately, I've been really thinking Amtrak would be a awesome way to travel because you could move around in your cars. If you're going long enough, you could have a sleeper berth, which I'd have to have a sleeper berth with the bathroom and the shower.
Right.
That would be like the luxury travel.
Right.
But they have a viewing car, they have a dining car.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sit around and talk about Amtrak tonight.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play a video about Amtrak, and then we're gonna talk some more.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Discover what America has to offer with Amtrak Vacations. From the excitement of the big cities to the serene vistas of our national parks, Amtrak Vacations offer hundreds of options to travel by train to North America's top destinations. As Amtrak's official tour operator, we take the complexity out of planning and booking your dream vacation by offering packages that include rail, accommodations, meals, sightseeing, and more. Depart from any of the 500-plus Amtrak stations and customize your vacation to discover amazing cities, scenic landscapes, and spectacular national parks. There is no better way to see and experience America. You see, we believe the journey is as important as the destination. We offer rail vacations to some of the most popular national parks, including Glacier National Park, Yellowstone National Park, the Grand Canyon, and more. With hotel accommodations inside the national parks, the experience is that much more memorable. Maximize your time exploring popular destinations as Amtrak brings you right into the heart of major cities like Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., and Seattle. With daily departures and the option to customize most packages, we can plan the perfect vacation for you. Whether it's a full sit-down meal or more informal food service, there is something for everyone. From chef-inspired cuisine to a quick bite in the snack car, Travel in comfort and relax while you travel to your next destination. We have room to roam so you can get up, stretch your legs, and enjoy all that the train has to offer. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Hop on board with Amtrak Vacations and see where the train can take you.
Even going from here to Washington, D.C., riding the train, catching it right here in Rocky Mount, riding up to Washington, D.C., being right downtown in Washington would be the way to go. Because all that traffic on 95.
Exactly. In fact, I was mentioning to you, my son took a train from Rocky Mount to New York, and it was wonderful. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. He was able to get to his hotel from the station. They drove at one point to New York, but they drove into New Jersey and took a train from New Jersey into the city because there was nowhere to park.
Right.
And if he did find a park, it was going to be so expensive. So, you know, you're right. Getting to your destination in a city, and most of the stations are within the city, within a convention area or within a hotel's distance.
District. And so it's easy to, and nowadays catching Uber or a taxi to go to your hotel,
Hotel was very
is very easy to do. So I think on families, going into New York to see the sights, going to Washington, D.C., or going up to Boston
Yeah,
to see
exactly.
all the history sites, you know, with the family. And your kids can move around. They're not in the back seat saying, how much further
How
are we
much
there
longer is it
yet?
to travel?
How much longer we got to travel? You're on the train, they can move around. You have a viewing car, you have a dining car.
Exactly.
And on the trains now, they have chefs. You wouldn't think they would, but they do. They have chefs in the dining car.
Yeah, and you can also, one of my sons went to Atlanta, and of course he enjoyed that. And who wants to drive in Atlanta?
Oh, I can tell you, being an ex-truck driver, I can tell you what Atlanta traffic is like, okay?
Right.
That's definitely a plus, not driving in Atlanta traffic.
Exactly.
And I'm really fascinated with the fact that you can go, like we can get on in Rocky Mount, go to Washington, D.C., from there to Chicago, and go west,
And we
out
have
to Seattle.
exactly, and we got a beautiful station here.
We do.
Got a pretty station here, and the station in Wilson. So I mean, it's just a luxury to have that.
But if you got 9 days, actually from here, I think you'd have to have 10 or 11 days. But to hop on the train here and end up in Seattle,
Oh, yes.
go down to San Francisco, and then come back across a little bit lower in the country,
yeah.
would be an awesome trip in my mind to spend.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
And all your hotels are planned for you. Now, you do have to get from the station to your hotel. That's on you when you get there.
Right.
But of course, that's something I can easily plan for you, the to get you from the Amtrak station to your hotel. And they're all planned out for you. They're all really nice hotels.
And also, you've got the bubble car or the sightseeing car on some of the Northwest
Yep.
destinations you saw in the video. Is beautiful. You get to sit back and relax and enjoy the scenery.
Yes, and if you're traveling that long a trip, you can get that car to where you can you're at night, you're in bed, you got your own bathroom, you got
right.
your own shower, or you can get one with shared. They have those roomettes where,
Right,
where you're sharing the bathroom and the shower.
That's right, exactly. And if you've got children, you know,
That to me,
That's a plus.
that's just a plus, the way to go. And then, of course, they can move
That's right,
around. I think
exactly.
about my 3-year-old granddaughter and things. She'd have a ball on the train. Of course, she'd probably know everybody on the train by the end of the time. And she'd be able to go from one car to the
Right,
next.
right.
We'd be moving. Exercise would be in our game
exactly.
plan.
And you mentioned luggage,
Yes.
the cost.
Luggage. Okay, now, on a plane, you know, nowadays we pay most time to check luggage, except on Southwest. With Amtrak, you get 4 check bags.
Exactly.
Take everything you want to take. That's my kind of
Right,
travel.
that's your
It's my kind of travel. Yes, that's my kind of
exactly
travel.
right.
Yes,
Oh,
it
my
is.
goodness.
Well, we are going to take a commercial break and come back and talk about some more Amtrak.
No pictures. No posting. This is just for us.
I wanna feel just a little, just a little, just a little. Wanna feel just a little, little bit more. Little bit more.
Norwegian Cruise Line. Feel free.
Well, we've got to come back now, Beth, from the island. We were like, we could be there right now,
we
right
could
there.
be there.
We could be there. We have to come back. We have to come back from the island. Something else that fascinates me with Amtrak is they go up and do like the fall foliage. When the wintertime, you can go up and do fall foliage the following year, Vermont, New Hampshire.
Oh, beautiful.
All up into Maine, Bar Harbor, lobsters.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. How soon can we book?
But we can book today. Okay? We can book today. Yep, we can. We can. Follow the years coming. It does sound nice. Also, the other thing is national parks. I'm interested to know how many national parks you can do off Amtrak,
Right.
and that they go right into almost to the park, and your lodges, all that's included. You know, with your Amtrak vacation. So I think that's just neat. There again, the kids. I keep saying the kids because I think about my grandkids.
Exactly.
Being on Amtrak it's just fantastic for families.
And it's educational. I mean, you're going to destinations
Yes,
that is educational. So that's fantastic.
I think so. And then, of course, mention again the historic sites you can see: Washington D.C., New York, Philadelphia, on up into Boston. I just think it's just a awesome way to plan a family vacation.
Exactly.
Or, you know, like we were talking about retired people. I think it's great for retired. They can travel. They have time. Retired people have time to
Exactly.
travel.
Yeah, and there's very little planning going into it. It's already planned.
Most of it is already planned. Yeah, it's just
planned out.
picking your hotel. They have from the high end to the medium end hotels. You can decide which hotel you want to be in, and then I mean there you are. I mean, you know,
Exactly.
I can see me pulling into Seattle right now.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, of course, I would have a problem not getting off in Leavenworth. I still, that's my little town. It's like a Bavarian village, and they have all kinds of
Washington?
festivities. Yes,
In
Leavenworth, Washington. And they stop in Leavenworth before they get to Seattle, so I can see me getting off in Leavenworth. I'd have to have a couple of days there.
Well, then you can take the cruise up to Alaska when you're in Washington.
Seattle, yes, you can. You
Yeah.
can. You can ride it right into Seattle. And that's the thing when you're going to do a cruise. Going in on Amtrak, they have a lot of the hotels blocked. So if you need a hotel that night before, Amtrak's the way to go in. Because then you got a hotel, you get to the cruise ship the next day, come back, hop right back on the train and come on.
Well,
Now that would be the ideal trip for me.
That would be ideal.
The time across and then the time back, that would be for me.
Exactly.
That 30 days, I can see that 30-day trip.
Exactly. And then you've got the little side trains that you can book off from Amtrak. I think going into Santa Fe and San Francisco
Cisco, all
and
down,
different
yes,
places.
you do, you certainly do. And stop in Portland, which is another town that I really love. Portland, Oregon's another nice place to visit.
Right.
You get me to San Francisco, I'd be lost at Alcatraz, the Golden Gate Bridge.
I know.
Of course, then you can always take a side trip out to Lake
Take
Tahoe.
day trips and things out there.
So I mean, I could,
goodness.
you get me started, and I could be talking travel all night long. Yes, I could. So, but the thing is that if you're interested in Amtrak vacations, please give me a call. I am Coffee Mug Travel, and the phone number is 252-379-1581. So, let's hear about some of your experiences. I think you were telling me about doing the trains, and was it Sweden?
Well, Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, and back in the days, they had things called fam trips. And, being a travel agent, you have to go somewhere and know a little bit about it. So, I think it was I forgot which airline it was, but anyway, we went to Swiss Air.
Swiss Air.
Yeah, and so we went to Switzerland, and it was a quick trip. You leave maybe on a Friday, you may come back Monday, but we did train travel in between, destinations. That is remarkable travel. I mean, these are high-speed trains and very fast, and that was probably one of the most incredible trips I'd ever been, and quick. But their train travel is so advanced, and it's just when it leaves at 7:01, you better be in your seat 7:01, and it's taken off. But their train travel is just fantastic, and you get to see, a lot of the countryside, from their train. So that was an incredible trip.
Now, do you think if you'd have been like, just say you and your husband had decided to go and you didn't contact a travel agent, but now you were going to use the train system in Europe, do you think you would have had as nice an experience with the train system?
No, because I wouldn't speak the languages. So I would love for have even been with a group, or it been planned out for me. I think you could get terribly lost and be frustrated. But no, if you were with a group or it had been planned out in advance, I think it's a piece of cake. Yeah, so now I'm not that adventuresome. Even as a travel agent, I wanted it planned where you want to go.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, we were also talking about the Rocky Mountaineer in Canada, which is an awesome train experience. That's one that you have to plan out, usually about a year and a half in advance. But I hear that's just an awesome trip across.
Yeah, we booked a lot of couples there, and and even back 30 years ago, you had to plan that a year ahead or more. As soon as they'd let you book it, because it was a very popular trip, and it still is today.
Oh, yes, extremely popular.
And you get to see some of the sights from the train that you would not dare see from an airplane. You wouldn't see it from a car. It's just beautiful, beautiful territory. But that's on my bucket list. It's something I've never done, but I have booked a lot, several couples that have taken that trip.
Well, I would love to do the Amtrak into Glacier National Park and then go up into Canada on Amtrak. I think that would be the way to do that. I think that would be
beautiful.
Wonderful, okay.
Be a beautiful trip.
And of course, I'd love to do it with the train, and I'd also like to do it with Globus guided tours. I have like tons and tons of things on my bucket list that I would love to do.
Right.
And every time I research, I'm thinking, hey, this is for me. So that's on the bucket list. So, but I think that there's so much you could see from just riding the train.
Exactly.
And see while you're going by.
And it would be nice to go with a group as well.
Oh, yes, because then you would have a group to experience it.
Exactly.
That is one thing I love, having a group, cruise ships, land tours. it's just so much better when you have a group. You have so many people to fellowship with.
Right, exactly.
And share the experience with. It's just a wonderful way to travel,
Right,
I feel
exactly,
like.
exactly.
You know, of course, there are those times too when it's nice to just get away with you and him or the girls, you know, when it's nice.
Right.
And I think some of these trips, like to go to New York and shop, a nice girls' weekend, hop on Amtrak, head up to New York, do your shopping, come back, you know.
Yeah, and you can, you know, rent a car and put all your Christmas packages in it. Bring them back home.
Well, exactly. I mean, you know, I think that would be an awesome experience to do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking now the people I've got on my clients that would love to do this shopping trip for the women
Exactly,
to New
exactly.
York. We may have come up with a great idea tonight.
I know.
May have.
Usually that was booked. We used to do that the weekend after Thanksgiving.
That's what I was saying. That would be
Break
awesome.
and go
wouldn't
see a
it? Yes.
show, go see a play or whatever, and that was always an awesome weekend.
See, and you could Amtrak right into Grand Central Station.
Exactly.
That would be a nice experience. I'm glad I just thought about that. We may have to put that on the book. Shopping trip to New York.
Shopping trip to New York. Exactly.
Yes. And my husband would definitely be staying home during that one.
Right.
He definitely would.
Exactly.
But a lot of difference, I find the difference in how long you have to check in amazing. You know, like with airlines now, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 hours. You've got to build in that time to clear TSA.
Right.
And depending on what time of day you're flying, depends on how much time you need built into the schedule.
Right.
But with Amtrak, they're saying check bags need to be checked in 45 minutes in advance, and that's, you know, like 45 minutes to an hour. That's all you need to be there. Check your bags, get on the train.
And that's remarkable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
And
that's
of course,
wonderful.
with TSA, you have to go through the whole TSA screening. To board Amtrak, they are checking government IDs. You have to government IDs, passports, but you don't have that whole stand in line,
Exactly.
take your shoes off, go through the detection.
And the crowd generally at the Amtrak station is not such a massive amount of people that you can check through pretty quickly too.
Yep.
So unlike the multiple departures at a airport.
Right. Now,
where
of
you have to go
course,
through.
I love flying. And even if it means going through JFK airport in the middle of the day,
You're going to do it.
and I have to go through customs twice, I will do it, okay, just to fly.
Just to fly.
You know, because flying into Rome when we did the
yeah.
Mediterranean,
Definitely.
that was a wonderful experience. But we left Charlotte, went to JFK, had to clear customs, go through the whole TSA thing again, and I would do it again just in order to do that trip because it was just awesome.
Yeah.
To fly in. So I mean,
That
but
sounds like that sounds like a plan too.
and it is. I mean, you know, of course. I guess you could take Amtrak into New York and then get to the airport.
Yeah.
You know, you could always get transportation out. The other thing is most airports are on the outside of your cities, where your train stations are interior to the
Interior,
city.
yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to commute, especially if you've got a time schedule you've got to meet. Going into the center of the city is a lot more convenient than being at the airport.
And we forget a lot of the destinations up north, their daily transit, you know, from Washington to New York, and people take them for business trips, you know, unlike we do here. And I'm not sure whether they still run the Raleigh-Charlotte, but they used to do the Raleigh-Charlotte Amtrak, which was a commuter for business travel.
And I can see that because that would be really convenient.
Exactly.
Of course, we don't like to think about business travel. We like to think about pleasure
travel.
We are traveling for fun, relaxation, to get away.
Exactly.
And who nowadays is not looking forward to getting away?
I know.
Dreaming of where you want to go.
Spending some leisure time.
Yes,
Leisure
definitely.
time.
Definitely.
Exactly.
So now, if any of y'all are interested, www.coffeemugtravel.com. Phone number is 252-379-1581. I am Lorie, and I will be glad now to be able to meet you in coffee shops. I'm so glad coffee shops are back in our radar.
I know.
And sitting outside at coffee shops is so nice.
I
And almost
know.
makes you think that you're in
I know.
Italy somewhere in a coffee. And we actually did that when we were in the Mediterranean. We
How
went to have
about
coffee
that?
outside.
Coffee out.
And it was just awesome.
I know.
So that's one of my main things. Well, Beth, it has been so good to have you on tonight. We've had so much
yeah,
fun.
we have
And I
fun.
hope you'll come back because I would love to have you back. I would love to have you.
Well, who knows? I may just plan a trip.
We may be on a group together. Hey, that sounds wonderful. That's wonderful.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It does. We would have fun. So we're gonna close now tonight, and we're gonna leave you with a nice little Amtrak video to watch to the end of the show.